Now we're going to continue our look at the individual members of the Rolling Stones. In the Beatles, George Harrison was always called the quiet one. If there is a quiet one in the Rolling Stones, it might be this guy. He was the last member to join what was termed the classic lineup of the Rolling Stones. He was a bass player. Now, the Stones already had a bass player, but he got the job because he showed up not only with a bass guitar, but an amp. And that pretty much sealed the deal. He played on 19 of the Rolling Stones albums from 1962 to 1993. And at the age then of 31 years old, he defies Keith Richards' claim that no one gets out of the Rolling Stones unless they die first. And Bill Wyman walks away from the Rolling Stones. So you ready to hear the story? Well then, let's drop the needle on Bill Wyman. William George Perks was born in 1936 and remembers the Germans bombing his neighborhood during the Blitz. After school, he was called up for national service in the Royal Air Force. He's the only member of the Stones who actually went to the service. While he was in Germany, he was exposed for the first time to rock and roll, and he decided in 1957 to form his first skiffle group. After the service and returning to England, like a lot of young kids at the time, he decides to buy an electric guitar, but he hates it. So then he buys a bass guitar, and the first thing he does is remove all of the frets on the neck of the guitar, so when he plays it, he can slide between the notes, making a fretless bass, I guess. And he loves this. And he decides to change his name to Bill Wyman, which was after a friend of his in the Air Force. As we said in the opening, in 1962, he took his bass guitar and amp and went to a gig being played by a new group called the Rolling Stones. And they were so impressed with his playing that they brought him, his guitar, and his amp into the band. Besides playing bass, he sang some backing vocals on the early records. He is credited with writing 2 songs for the Stones, In Another Land, which he sings lead on, off of that very odd, their Satanic Majesty's Request album, and later, Downtown Susie, which Bill wrote, but it's sung by Mick Jagger on the Metamorphosis album. He was very close to Brian Jones, and in fact, he and Charlie Watts are the only 2 members of the Stones who went to Brian's funeral. And then Bill got very close with Brian's replacement, with Mick Taylor. And in fact, after Bill left the Stones and Taylor had left the Stones, they ended up playing together quite frequently. As I said, he played on 19 of the Rolling Stones albums. So here are the Rolling Stones albums that Bill Wyman played on. In 1964, the Rolling Stones, England's newest hitmakers. In 1965, the Rolling Stones No. 2, or the Rolling Stones Now. Also in 1965, Out of Our Heads. In 1966, Aftermath. In 1967, Between the Buttons. Also in 1967, Their Satanic Majesty's Request. In 68, Beggar's Banquet. In 69, Let It Bleed. In 71, Sticky Fingers. In 72, Exile on Main Street. 73, Goat's Head Soup. 74, It's Only Rock and Roll. 76, Black and Blue. 78, Some Girls. 1980, Emotional Rescue. 1981, Tattoo You. 1983, Undercover. 1986, Dirty Work. 1989, Steel Wheels. And then in 2023, he does appear on the album Hackney Diamonds. After the massive 1969-1970 Rolling Stones tour, Bill Wyman decides he's leaving the band. And as I said before, Keith Richards could never understand why, but Bill does. The band replaces him with Darryl Jones on bass, but he's never been an official member of the group. In 1997, Bill creates a new group called Bill Wyman's Rhythm Kings. In 2011, Bill plays on 2 songs for the Ian Stewart tribute album, Boogie for Stew. As a solo artist, Bill Wyman has recorded 9 albums. They are Jamming with Edward, which also features Ry Cooder, Nicky Hopkins, Mick Jagger, and Charlie Watts, Monkey Grip in 1974, Stone Alone in 76, Green Ice in 1981, Bill Wyman in April of 1982, Willie and the Poor Boys in May of 1988, Stuff in October 1992, Back to the Basics in June of 2012, and Drive My Car in August of 2024. He's also written 2 books about his time with the Rolling Stones, Stone Alone and A Journey Through America with the Rolling Stones. His personal life is a bit notorious. He marries his first wife in 1959, and they get pregnant, and she has a son. And then they get divorced 10 years later. While the Stones are on tour in Australia, he has a fling with a woman who gets pregnant. And so she moves to New Zealand, and Bill Wyman has never heard anything about the mother or the resulting child since. In 1989, Bill Wyman is 52 years old and gets married to a young woman called Mandy Smith, who's 18 at the time. This causes quite a scandal because Mandy claims that they fell in love and first had sex when she was 14 years old. They are divorced just 2 years later. And then in a weird twist on family relationships, Bill Wyman's son marries Mandy Smith's mother. This then makes Bill Wyman his own son's ex-son-in-law, the father-in-law of his ex-mother-in-law, and the stepfather of his ex-wife. I'm confused. In 1993, he marries again and has 3 daughters. And then in 2016, he's diagnosed with prostate cancer, but he survives. Now, as usual, I've created a Spotify playlist where you can listen to some of the songs that I've talked about in this episode. And here's the link, and I'll also put it in the comments below. Bill Wyman was the oldest member of the Rolling Stones. He played on so many of their records and so many of their concerts and was influential in their sound. And I hope that you've enjoyed watching this episode. In the next one, we'll turn to yet another member of the Rolling Stones. Until then, thanks for watching and keep it rockin'. If you liked this episode, hit the like button, and you can also leave me a comment down below, and I'll respond to you. If you subscribe, we'll let you know when future episodes come out.